Hi everyone, we're back again with another video. My name's Lisa. You will have known me from the other videos. I'm the lead peer trainer here at the Recovery College. This week is Alcohol Awareness Week, and today we've got Rory here. I'm just going to ask him a few questions to share some of his experience and knowledge from the team that he works in. So Rory, if you...
I'm Rory, I'm a peer support worker. I work with the community addiction team here in Armagh, and I've actually got a bit of lived experience when it comes to addiction. With the facts of alcohol use, I suppose for some alcohol is a positive way of, people use it to socialise with friends and family, and for others unfortunately it becomes a big problem and gets a grip on a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think it's important, what we were talking about is to recognise that for a lot of us we would just use it to relax. It is sociable, but the effects, what are the effects of alcohol on...
Well, I suppose alcohol firstly is a depressant, and a lot of people have depression because of alcohol misuse. It can cause anxiety, and when people become dependent, it takes priority over all other areas of life, and can affect close family relationships, friendships, your mental health, your emotional health, and your physical health. So it has a devastating impact.
Yeah. And how would people start to recognise that they are having a problem? I mean, you've talked about the impact on people around them. What else in terms of personally, what might be going on for people?
Well, I think it sounds a bit simplistic, but I heard someone say once, if it's a problem, it's a problem. And I think that means, if it's causing you problems, like signs would be maybe someone's not taking as much care of their personal hygiene, and maybe they're missing most Mondays at work, their friendships, they're changing friends to suit their drinking, and maybe they used to play sports and they've stopped playing sports, maybe they've dropped out of an education course that they were attending. So the signs of things are starting to slip, although it's not always obvious that it's because of alcohol sometimes to begin with, because maybe the person themselves is in denial about it, or even the family will quite often be in denial about the family member's problem too, and they don't really want to acknowledge that maybe their son has a problem with a substance, so
really useful to know that. And Rory, I know as well that you do some work with, not everybody identifies themselves as a carer. For people who have identified that they do have a problem and are seeking help for that, that obviously impacts families and wider society, and people don't always think of themselves as carers when they're dealing with someone with an addiction issue when it's got to that point. Sometimes people think are really just supporters because they're family members, but I know you do some work with supporters or carers, and what is the impact for them, and what is the importance for them in terms of their own self-care and looking for help?
Yeah, as part of my role, I go out and talk to family members and carers in the waiting room, and I think sometimes for the first time family members feel heard for what they're going through, and with a bit of empathy, a lot of times family members have opened up and have started crying just as a result of being able to talk to someone. Even family members find it hard even to talk within their own family, and find support, because often there's a lot of blame that goes along with addiction to alcohol. Maybe it was bad parenting, was it this, was it that, so it's not easy for the family. So
it's like that with so much of our work, isn't it, across the mental health, right? There's all the judgment, there's the stigma that's attached to it, as you say, the blame, what is my role, what's gone wrong, what are people going to think, and all that kind of thing. But really important for carers and supporters to get help around this as well.
Definitely, yeah. I try to put a big emphasis, and I just say to the carers, you have to, it sounds selfish, but they have to put themselves first, and they have to look after themselves, because the person that they're caring for is only going to change when they want to change. Yeah. So they are,
They can't make that happen for them.
They can't, and unfortunately, often the family members will, their own mental health will start to suffer if they're not careful as well. So,
And Rory, but you're here, you're working as a peer support worker. Recovery is possible. Our work is about believing that recovery is possible, that there is hope. What do you feel is a message you want to get out there about you know, what are the steps we need to take, what's important in terms of recovery?
I think it's important to realise, you know, that there's no such thing as a hopeless case. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of people at certain stages, even myself, and at my later stages of using alcohol and other drugs, that it wouldn't have been possible for me to recover, but through the right help and the right support and getting there step by step, it is possible. And I've seen lots of people in recovery, you know, make amazing transformations from being chronically dependent on alcohol to maybe being 5 to 10 years in recovery, have a, you know, great family relationships and achieving all the things that they wanted to achieve. So there's no limits really to recovery.
Absolutely, and that's brilliant. I mean, that's our whole message in our work, isn't it? And that, I think that must be really encouraging for other people to hear. So in terms of somebody who needs help, what are the next steps, that if somebody's identified that it is impacting their life, it has become a problem, it's dominating things, where can people go in order to get help?
Well, to get help from ourselves, the community addiction team, your first step would be to contact your GP, and your GP then will be able to make a referral into our service, and a practitioner in the team will be in contact as soon as possible. You know, you might be put on the waiting list, but they'll be there as soon as they can, you know. And other services out there is Dunlewy, the likes of Extern. That's services that you can get in touch with without having to go through your GP, and they're a great support. They'll deal with, Extern will deal with chronic drinkers, IV heroin users, they'll call out to the house, they'll bring people to their appointments. So it's brilliant.
Okay. So Rory, thank you so much. I mean, that's really useful and really encouraging message as well. And I think just to finish by saying as well, for people to realise that if you're in crisis or in despair, Lifeline is always available 24/7, as well as Samaritans. And in fact, this is really useful to do this video today, because next week the theme that we're going to be talking about is asking for help, why it can be difficult to ask for help. So it feeds kind of very nicely into that. So thank you so much for your time and sharing your experience with us. We'll check in with you again.